this back up. Right. So we will be starting. Well, first of all, do we have any questions before we start? Do we have any questions? Hold on. Wrong screen. Any questions before we get started? All right.
Did you know if you add
We are going to be in Exodus. Exodus chapter 32, then. There's no questions. We'll be in Exodus chapter 32. And just to hold up. Yes, we did do 31. So last week we did Exodus 31. So this is a quick recap. We see that the Most High put the Spirit on some of the brothers, okay, to do the work of the temple, of the wardrobe, things of that nature. Now, I do want to make sure we understand. The Most High gives sometimes certain, like better words, I'll say gifts, right? He does give gifts, and I'll show it here in verse 3. And I have filled him, right? This is the son of her. This is Bezalel, right? I have filled him with what? The Spirit of God in wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and all manner of workmanship, right? So he got filled, he got the skill particularly for this, okay? So sometimes, beloved, the Most High can give somebody a certain skill for something, but that doesn't mean they have the Holy Spirit as we kind of see it today, okay? So somebody could be gifted with something, but does not mean they have the Holy Spirit. All right. So I just want people to understand that. Okay. I'm not going to say this brother wasn't holy, righteous, anything like that, but I just want us to understand that somebody can be very good. And this is why some people get caught up, because they get caught up on certain gifts, right? Somebody's a good orator. So some people get caught up on that and thinking, well, if they got that gift of order, they come from God, and then they're saying, oh, well, they must be a righteous person. No, it don't always correlate that way. Okay. So it's never about looking at the gift per se, all right, but it's about the lifestyle that goes with it. Okay. It's the lifestyle that's important. Okay. Don't get caught up on the gifts. You're gonna see gifts. Even last day said you're gonna be seeing miracles, you're gonna see certain things. And it would, if you don't have understanding, it could deceive you. It will deceive you. Okay. But us that have known the truth, we should not be deceived. Okay. Because he literally spells it out through the scriptures. Okay. He tells even don't marvel, right, at those that what? I'm sorry, not marvel. Marvel at them that what? Can change their appearance. Talks about darkness. They change their appearance to be ministers of light. He said, don't marvel at it. Meaning, don't be surprised about it. Okay. So once again, the gifts, certain gifts can be replicated, but the lifestyle, you can look at that. Okay. All right. So we look at this. He put that knowledge on them so they, of course, make this thing look nice, beautiful, and glorious, because he said that's how he wants it. Okay. So it goes again to what some of the things, the mercy seat and all those kind of things, the candlesticks, the incense that we've been talking about the last couple of chapters. And then in verse 12, it gets to what? How it's speaking to Moses, and now it's talking about the Sabbaths, right? And how that they are supposed to be a sign between us and him throughout the generations. Sometimes we so focused on trying to convince somebody else. It ain't about convincing others, beloved. This is a sign between you and your maker. When people can't grasp the sign they have, it's already telling us what we need to know. Okay? So this was a sign throughout the generations to know what? It's good to know what it's for. That ye, he's saying this is for you, the people that enter into the covenant with me. This is for you to know, not to think, you to know that I sanctify you. And why is this so important? Because some of us go to the Sabbath and not understand that it's the Most High that sanctified you, not the teacher, not the preacher. I'm saying, yeah, this applies to here, beloved. It ain't, Brother Mike didn't sanctify nobody. I'm only telling you about somebody that can sanctify anybody. It's him. You keeping the Sabbath and do nothing with me. It's about him. So you know he sanctified you. Why is this important? Right? Because he wants us to have that relationship with him. Okay? Some relationships are only predicated around sometimes the vessel that he uses. And we see that over and over and over again in the scriptures. Some people have the relationship while that vessel, that man or that woman's there that's serving God, and that's how the relationships go. So when they fall, you fall with them. That's not how it's supposed to be. If I go off, beloved, God forbid, I go off, I start sinning, start going again. Y'all don't follow me. Y'all continue doing what you're supposed to do. And y'all pray for me while y'all doing the right path. Don't follow me into that. You ain't gonna follow me. You keep the same path. Okay? And pray at the Most High mercy that I get back in to the race. Okay? So this Sabbath, so you know that he sanctified you. You know that he deals with you. Okay? This is why it talks about when we go to the Ten Commandments to keep it holy. And I tell y'all, this is very important. These words is very important. Because keeping the Sabbath is not just, oh, I'm going to a building on the Sabbath, or I'm listening to somebody on the Sabbath. No, keep it holy. There's a lot of people that congregate, but they're not keeping the Sabbath because they're not doing what's right or holy on that day. If you're not doing what's right and what's acceptable in God's eyes, you are not keeping it holy. It's the same thing as if you're keeping it any other day. Okay? So I do want to make sure that is clear. Right? Don't just get caught up. Well, I know I'm doing Saturday, they doing Sunday, so I'm good. No, you must. The commandment is remember to keep it holy. All right? With the power of the Most High God, we are going to honor it the way that he intended to be honored, by keeping it holy. Right? So in verse 14, he talks about the Sabbath day. Keep it holy, once again, for it is holy unto you. It ain't for everybody holy. And what does he mean by holy unto you? It's holy to those that enter into the covenant of God. I keep talking about this covenant because it's very important. People try to apply, oh, it's for the whole world. No, it's holy unto you. He's specifying it because you said that you will do what I say. Remember, we said we'll do Moses, everything that God commanded, we'll do. We have entered into a covenant at that point. Now with us, now he's what? Our God, and we are what? His people. That's when that exchange happened. Yes, he pulled us out of Egypt, but that was not the thing that you get caught up on. It's about when we enter into the covenant. Okay? Now when we enter into the covenant, we're saying we're going to do these things. We're going to keep the Sabbath. That's how it is. All right? So this Sabbath is holy unto you. It's holy unto his people that said they will serve him. Okay? Everyone that defileth shall surely be put to death. That's what he's saying. For whosoever doeth any work therein, the soul shall be cut off from among his people. Okay? So he's telling you, this is how serious I want it. Okay? I want y'all to keep my Sabbath holy. Okay? 6 days to be labor, 7 days the Sabbath of rest. We can talk about that with that rest as well. But we won't deal with it right now. It's holy to what? To Yahweh. We didn't choose this day. Moses didn't choose this day. That's why I keep going with the Most High sent this to us. Okay? He gave this to us. Everybody always will say, Moses, no. Everything, all these things all these instructions that were given by Moses, these were inspired words by the Most High God. Okay? Say, oh, that's the Jews' holy day. That's Israel holy day. That's when they serve. Oh, beloved, this is the Most High day he chose. Okay? He chose the Sabbath day, special to him. That's why whosoever doing any work therein the Sabbath, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for how long? For a perpetual what? Covenant. It's about the covenant you're entering into. Okay. Why he specified to the children of Israel? Because they're the only nation that enter into the covenant as a nation. Individuals that joined to us entered into it. And those that have been reading, that have been with us on Wednesday, Judith is a good example. Okay. Not her, but remember that one brother that joined, he got circumcised and he joined into it, right? So you can go under it, you can join in that aspect, okay? 17, it is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever, right? So this is why we continue to do this, because we believe in the covenant. We believe that it don't expire, okay? For in 6 days, now he's giving us a little detail. Sometimes the Most High will give us actually the breakdown. For in 6 days, Yahweh made heaven and earth. And on the seventh day, he rested and was refreshed. So, beloved, it's about working those 6 days and then resting on the Sabbath. And not just saying you rested, but what? It's supposed to be a refreshing. The Sabbath is supposed to feel like a refreshing. You're getting worn out through the week. You're supposed to be looking into the Sabbath, entering into the Sabbath, all right? And your body, your spirit should be refreshed. That's the design of it, okay? Are you being refreshed? Because this is where I talk about keeping it holy. You can be coming week after week and you're not feeling refreshed. But the Sabbath was intended, how the Most High does it, you should be feeling refreshed, okay? Go to the Sabbath. All right, Brother Kai, hope you're ready after this because we're going to go to the next chapter. And he gave unto Moses when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, right? Once again, all these things is happening, not just the 10 commandments. He's getting all this stuff, remember? And then he's saying what? Now he's done the conversation on Mount Sinai. So we don't even know the fullness of what Moses got. I'll say it again. We don't even know the fullness of what he got. He's having a conversation and dealing with the Most High up there, all right? So communing unto him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of God, okay? Somebody might say, oh, is this the thing? Is this the 10 commandments? Yes, that's what he's written down to bring down there because, beloved, if he brought everything that they were talking about down there on the table of stones, Moses would be cotton diesel because you have a lot of stuff, right? It's a lot of commandments he got up there, all right? Got the 10, condensed it, all right? Because if you understand the 10, you can understand everything else that comes with it, okay? All right. Anybody got something that I missed on the review of chapter 31 before we go to chapter 32? All right, we good. All right, remember this stuff is very, very important, okay? All right, Exodus chapter 32, and we're going to start at verse 1. See how long it's
And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron, and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me.
All right. So here we go. Here we starting off with it, all right? People saw Moses delayed to come down out of the mountain, okay? So they, once again, we see this often. I hope this is another pattern that we see. We losing patience, all right? We have we think it's happened. Moses a little late. Now I don't remember reading where Moses said I'm gonna be back in 20 days or something like that. Then you can maybe be worried like this is 25 days now, right? We can get that. They feel like Moses is kind of delayed coming down off this mountain. He was up there for a while, right? So the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron. Sound familiar, beloved? Those that are doing the Wednesday classes, all right? People gather together, go into what? The leaders of the congregation, and what? And said unto him, Up, make us gods, all right? Which shall go before us. And as this Moses, that man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we what not? What has become of him? Okay, so we see what they said. Listen, make us gods, man. We don't know what happened to Moses. Moses was the one. We kind of know. We know Moses kind of leading us, out of Egypt. He was in the front. We see him doing all those things, but we don't know what's happening with him. So we need to what? Go back to what we know. And this is something, beloved, we have to get out of it, because this is some of our forefathers and foremothers. I want y'all to pick up some of the things, because sometimes we're repeating these same things. Later on, now I'm gonna go back to what I know. Okay. So what happens? And Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. Okay. So Aaron, hearing this message and saying, listen, I want y'all to give me them golden earrings. Give me those, the ones in your wives' ears, your sons and daughters. Okay. Bring them unto me. Now, there's two things we can look at this, but I'll wait. Okay. So right now he's just saying, give us the gold. Give me the gold that y'all have in your ears and all that stuff, that jewelry. We always had jewelry and stuff. He said, bring it unto me. All right. Verse 3 and 4, brother. Verse 3 and 4.
Come. And the people break off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graven tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Anybody see something anything from verse 1 through 4? Open up to the class. Serious stuff happening here, beloved. Anything stood out to anybody from 1 through 4? Excuse me.
Yeah, they gave reverence to, another lower God rather than the Most High. We all know he is a jealous power, so that's definitely a no-no.
Good point.
Or it's being delivered out of Egypt. My apologies.
Good point. Anybody else? Jealousy is definitely a good characteristic or attribute we should know about when we're dealing with our God. Because sometimes we feel like, this we got to think about, beloved. We talk about what he's commanding us to do, right? When we say, we ain't going to do that and everything, think about it. This is a jealous God. When you don't do what he say, he's taking that, oh, you basically having an affair on me. Oh, you dealing with somebody else. That's how this thing goes, right? And I always say, listen, do we think we're going to go and approach him and it's going to be all good when we knowing that we're going against what he said to do? You think he's going to be, oh, wait, I forgot. Yeah, you're past. I forgot. Yeah, you're past. He said that, so I let you slide. Oh, the loved ones. Oh, because you that pressure on them. Oh, I got it. Love it. Nah, shows over and over. I'm a jealous God. Okay, that's a good point. Anybody else? So all the people break off the golden earrings. All right, so this is good point. They breaking off their earrings, which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. He received them at their hand and fashioned it with a graven tool. What is happening, beloved? What is he doing? He made a molten calf. What did they just do?
They just committed idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. The idolatry at its finest, beloved. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is how idolatry works. You're bringing an object, right? That was created. This is the thing. Everything on this earth, anything in this universe was made and delivered by the Most High through his son, however you want to look at it, right? He made everything. You're going to take something he made for good, for us, and you are going to now worship that. This is what he talks about. You serve the creation over the creator. All idolatry is like that. Okay? The fashion, we already had a lesson with the idol, idolatry. We know exactly how you feel about that. But we'll go and fashion it, and you make it into a god. This is the difference. You make it into a god. The God we serve is already a god. We don't have to do nothing. He's a god all on his own. But these idolatry things, you have to make it a god. You have to give it a sense of a power or anything like that. You got to conform your mind into that, but it's nothing. And this is the crazy thing about the mind. You can convince your mind of a lie so much that you actually believe it's something. And this happens all the time. This mind is a dangerous weapon when they ain't serving the Most High. So they took the earrings out their ear. They seen them melting it, because this is when you melt it, right? When it get hot, and then you can what? You can form it and create it to what you want to do. So they made it. He said he got graven tools, and he made it a molten calf. Okay. And they said, listen to what they said. These be thy gods, O Israel. Ain't just Aaron. There's a lot of them, right? Be thy gods. Look how soon this happened. They just got delivered a little bit ago. They like, 40 years later, 50 years later, they seen all these miracles. So don't think miracles is going to save you. Oh man, my family, if I could just do a miracle, they'll believe. Don't think that. Our people have a track record of seeing a miracle and it don't do anything for them. Okay? Because this is why he says, and he gives us the parable in the New Testament. He was like, let me go back. Let me go back to my family. Let me warn them. Because he realized after the judgment, it's real. Let me go back and warn them. And he thinking, I'm coming back from the dead. They surely going to believe. And we will think that. Somebody died and they came back. And they try to warn us, you're going to take heed to that. Scripture said, nah, they still won't believe. He said what? They got Moses. They got the writing of Moses. If they can't get that, they're not going to believe. Now that's strong, beloved. That hit me. You got to believe the word. If you ain't going to believe it, I don't know what to tell you. All right? Even the miracles, that's why I try to break it down. The miracles designed was for us to what? To bring attention so that you can receive the word. Miracles is not for you to stay on. That's for beginners. Beginners need the miracles and stuff so they can believe. But that wasn't for somebody that's a believer. No, you shouldn't have to have miracles. And if you need miracles to start believing the word of God, then you are still what? An unbeliever. Okay? Yeah, people in the church for a long time, and they some unbelievers. Okay? So we look at this once again. They melted out. These be the gods of Israel. Listen, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Now, I know there's some powerful drugs, and I'm sure they was powerful in that day. But, beloved, this is delusional. I mean, you just testified 2 seconds ago. We don't know where this Moses is that brought us out of Egypt. Now we pluck the earrings out. We literally made this God, and we say these are the gods that brought us out. Okay? Crazy. And that's a molten calf. Ain't no big swine or anything like that. It don't matter. Okay? Let's keep going. 5 and 6, because it get more, it's something more dangerous in this.
And I want to just say this, bro. I don't know if you mentioned it, but the crazy thing about it is the Most High gave us this gold. You know what I mean? He said, borrow every, one of your neighbor, the gold, for the Egyptians. So he gave you this gold. He gave you all these riches or what have you, and they still reverence the gold as a god that brought them out of Egypt, which is sad at the end of the day. All right.
That's one of the points. I'm glad you brought it out earlier. So when you think about this, beloved, the same thing with us. Because somehow we look at them and be like, man, they crazy. I wouldn't have done that crazy. The Most High gave you, first of all, other brother and sister deal with, but he put his spirit in you, right? Or he touched you to guide you to him or whatever, right? And you just throw that away, right? That was a gift that he gave for us.
Yeah.
And we use that gift to what? Go further away from him. A gift you got, you use to get further away from God. Same thing we can look in our lives. The things that God gives us, are we using to get closer to God? What you know what I mean? What it should be for? Or are we using that to get further away from him? Jewelry was, getting, some kind of reparation from that, all that slavery and everything. What we do? We turn into an idol. All right. Sometimes you can take, that's why they talk about slavery. You can take the body out, but what? Their mind, they still in the idolatry mindset. They still in Egypt. They outside the land, but they still in Egypt. Okay. And this is so powerful because, beloved, somebody, oh, you're not in Israel, you can't do this. No, you could be outside of Israel, but your mind's still on Israel. We still in Jerusalem. Okay. But this is why we have to keep him in our mind, beloved.
That's right.
We're going to keep him in our mind because, even talk about the New Testament, take heed, lest ye fall. You tell them, like, listen, don't you be looking at these 4 or 5 saying, oh my God, they stupid, I would never do that. You need to take heed because a lot of people have been calling them stupid and doing the same thing. Right? You looking at the earrings and everything. What you doing when you think you paying them tithes and all that stuff and offering to those fall churches? What you think you doing? You don't think you lift up the idolatry? I'll show you a story. He said, would you help the ungodly? Why? Because if they ungodly and you helping them, what do you think you're doing? You don't think that's idolatry? Think about it, beloved. You get so caught up on the air, but you don't know what it represents. God bless you to get income, to get all this stuff. And what are you doing with it? Are you using to further this program, using it to, help yourself and all that stuff and give that praise, honor, glory to the Most High? Or what? Are you using to go against them? To try to put them to shame. Okay? So let's be mindful, beloved. All right. Good point, Brother Cobb. Good point. All right, we keep going if nobody got anything.
Verse 5 and 6. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to Yahweh. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play.
I don't know if y'all caught it, but something dangerous happened there, boy. Telling you. You can go, and this is how quick it happened, beloved. You can go from, oh my God, this is the best God, I'll serve him, I love him, I'll do everything he say, to full out idolatry. It don't take long. People think that it don't take long. This is why the Most High be telling you to flee from certain things, leave certain, you know what I mean? He gives you these things because he knows how we will do things. All right? Look at the patterns. Our forefathers do it over and over and over again, beloved. But what we got? Anybody got something in 5 and 6? Because there's a big one in 5 and 6. There's a big one.
They had a feast and it was to Yahweh, And there's nothing wrong with doing the feast days, you know what I mean, and commemorating Yahweh. But when it's, idolatry, then it's a whole different thing, That feast wasn't actually to Yahweh, it was to false deities. So that was a big problem right there, beloved.
This we got to realize. I don't care. Let me run it back. Because you got the name, because they had the name, they knew what it was, right? Just because you got the name and you proclaiming and putting it on something, don't make it right. They putting this name, saying, we just feast the Yahweh, and what they doing? They're not serving out. They're not doing that. They're not dealing with our God. They're dealing with something totally different.
Mhm.
Listen, they said tomorrow is a feast hour, and they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings, things they should be given to the true God that they enter that covenant with. They're not doing it to that God. They're doing it to what? This golden calf and everything. This new God they made up. This is why I say some people are going to replicate things of the scriptures to do what? To serve their God. So when you see these churches and all that stuff, some of them going to be Sabbath doing the same thing. But they're doing idolatry. Some of them have religions where they're going to adhere to our dietary law, but they're not serving our God. Okay? So they rose up early, and it says rose up to drink and rose up to play. They doing some worshiping over there.
Good one. I gotta have one.
He been gone for a little bit too long for their liking, and they went to full-fledged idolatry. Even the heathens with their gods don't even switch that quick, right? But oh, Israel, we'll do it. Okay. Let me show precept. I think it's in 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 10.
Yeah, I think that's it. I believe.
I haven't seen. I have one of these notes. Yeah, it's 10. All right. So 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And we are going to go to verse. I'll start up a little bit. Let's go to verse 5. 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 5.
But with many of them, God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness.
So he wasn't pleased, and this is why they got overthrown in the wilderness. All right. It's always a reason when we get overthrown. Ain't just, oh, well, I don't know what happened. Nah, because you were disobedient, he overthrew us. All right. So this is talking about in the wilderness during the time that we're reading right now. Okay, go ahead.
Now these things were our examples, to the intent we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted.
This is an example. This is an example. The things we reading, right? The scriptures is for our learning, for reproof, okay, for correction and righteousness. All right. So we can be thoroughly furnished and walk what perfectly. All right. It was the perfect man of God. Right. So we can become complete. Now these things are example to the intent. All right. The intent behind it is what? We should not desire evil things as they also lusted. All right. One of the things they were lusting for was these idols. All right. Same thing today. People lusting for idols. Hungry, lust for everything, want to design everything but the Most High. Okay. That's why he have it in this book. All right. To show us. That's why it shows the good, bad, and the ugly, so we can understand it. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 7. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play.
All right. So he's quoting exactly what we're talking about today. All right. So they were doing what? Idolatry. How were they doing idolatry? Because they was what? They was doing a feast day for this God. And you'll see the same thing. These holidays they be having, not them for their gods. All right. They got the Christmas. That is for their God. Okay. So you got a lot of different things, beloved. You have to look at it and realize, what are they serving? What are they feasting about? What are they coming together for? Because they're going to masquerade it with what? A holy convocation, right? They're going to use the word on it, but even though they ain't going to show you it in the word, but they're going to use these things. But they're committing idolatry. And you have to be able to see through the smoke screen that they delivers. Okay? How you're going to see that is by the knowledge of the truth. All right, let's go back. All right, so this is how you know it was idolatry. What you got, brother?
Yes. And also And it wasn't holy. You know, the Most High in Leviticus in 23, he said, 2:2. Go there. And after that, we'll go to the Wisdom of Solomon.
Mhm.
This verse 2.
Okay. Leviticus 23,
Mm-hmm.
verse 1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them concerning the feast of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts.
Mm-hmm. And Aaron's wasn't holy. You know, he proclaimed it upon himself. He took it upon himself and said, hey, we're going to do this. It wasn't of the Most High. He gave us our set apart days. And, But like you said, it's constantly over and over, like Jeroboam as well. But Wisdom of Solomon, also chapter 14, verse 12. And then I yield the floor.
And that's a good point. He telling us to proclaim it. Say something, oh, Mike, he telling us a commandment. You got to proclaim these feasts. That's a good point. All these other feasts that they can proclaim and we keeping, but the things he told you to keep, they're going to argue with that. Nobody argue when I'm doing Thanksgiving. Nobody argue. They don't argue with nothing else. But as soon as you say you about to do something in the scriptures, they need all this proof. Think about that, beloved. Don't that sound backwards? They're not fighting nobody else with their holiday. But as soon as you doing something that you see in the scriptures, they want to argue with you. Why did the spirit get riled up in you? Okay, so we got to look at these things, examine these things. Why? Why will my spirit get bothered? Even, I'll put it like this, beloved, even if it ain't nothing, it's something still in the scriptures. I'd rather do something that's in the scriptures than you grabbing some holiday that, and I'm loosely saying holiday, you grabbing some celebration, some day that they told you to celebrate, and you doing it. Some of these days were directly against you. Some of these days were going at us, and you over there celebrating harder than them. But when we tell you that your God, that you entered the covenant, had days set for you, is a big problem. That's something that used to shake me up. I didn't get it all at once. Right? But this is something we got to wake ourselves up to. All right. But go ahead, sis. You said 14 and verse 12?
Yes.
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
And that's just self-explanatory, spiritual fornication at its finest.
Mm-hmm. They talk about everything else, but absolutely. Devising idols. In this, like I said, we could take it on a natural level with the idols, the little idols, right, we're making, right? But even the thought, the thought of putting something before God is spiritual fornication.
Yep.
The thought of putting my mom before the Most High, it can be spiritual fornication. The thought of putting my father can be spiritual fornication. See, the devil is so smooth with, I want y'all to understand, he's subtle, right? He's cunning, right? He's so smooth. He'll have you looking and focusing on those people that's making an idol, saying, look at them, man. They out there, right? And you don't realize you out there to the people that's in the truth. You just choosing a different idol. Their idol is seen and they made it with their hands. Your idol is what? In your mind. But every idol starts in the mind, beloved. Some of them just went to the step of manifesting it for others to see. But when you don't do what thus saith the Lord, that's an idol. You never have to question it. Okay? So it's a good one. For the devising of it. I love they say the devising of it. To just putting it together, thinking about it. Because before that calf could be created, somebody had to think about what? Making that calf. That's where the idolatry came in. That's when the fornication came in, the mind. And this is what Christ was trying to get with. He was saying, nah, you don't lust when you slept with her. No. Say you commit adultery, what? In your mind. It just got manifested when you slept with them. But the adultery happened here. The murder happened here. The polluting of the Sabbath happened here. The stealing happened here. Everything get created in this mind. In this mind, if it ain't checked, it will manifest itself, and then that's when we can see the fruits of them. Right? So the devising of it, beloved, the thought, the thinking of it, that's the spiritual fornication. And the invention of them, right? Now I ain't creating the invention of them, the corruption of life. This is what destroyed life. Okay? And that's, you can take this right to the beginning. What was Adam and Eve biggest thing? They put something over his word, over his commandment. That's destroyed our lives. That's corrupted us. They didn't have to build nothing. They didn't have to create. No. You put something over the Most High God. How dare you put something over the Most High God? And that thought destroys. Nothing good comes from it. Okay. Good precept, sis. Good precept. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else?
All praise to the Most High.
What was that? I'm sorry.
No, it's just all praises to the Most High.
Yes, all praises to him. All praises. All right. And that was verse. That's 5, 6. Yeah, 5 and 6. So that's what I'm saying. He even used the name. They used the name. That's what's crazy about it. They still, yeah, this is how they brought us out. All right. So be mindful of these things, beloved. And be mindful what? Putting things holy on things that's not holy. Something he talked about that. Can you bring a clean out of an unclean? I said, no, not one. But we think we can bring a clean out of an unclean. Right? Oh, it ain't like that. Well, I sanctified it. I sanctified this idol for God. No, you can't bring clean out of unclean. All right? Go ahead, Brother Kai.
And then in verse 6, they had the audacity to offer burnt offerings and peace offerings to the Most High. You can't, disrespect the Most High and transgress him like that and think that you're going to offer up a burnt offering and peace offering and make it all right. Ain't no peace after that at the end of the day. The Most High don't operate like that. A peace offering is not, when you commit idolatry. A peace offering is when you trespass against your brethren or do something ignorantly. At this point in time, they had the commandments. On Mount Sinai in Exodus 20, he told them all the commandments. So they're not ignorant at this point. They knew they was doing wrong and they still did it. They just go to show you, like, you can't, trespass against God and think you're going to give him a gift and he's going to accept that. He don't accept that type of gift. Are you?
And this is a good point with God, because they're is sick, but it's like we're not. They're kind of acknowledging God, but they know they're doing
exactly.
Here's fornication. Like, I want y'all to understand, beloved. This is what they did, and when Aaron saw it, right, he built an altar before it. He built an altar to the golden calf. They literally knew what they was doing, but they're saying, we doing this praise and everything almost in Yahweh's name. See how sick this thing is getting? This is the same thing in the churches. Some of them have Christmas is so easy for it. They'll have the big old tree up in the sanctuary, right? They'll have certain things. They have these images, all these things, right? And they're thinking that what? They're praising the God is Bible. They get in these burnt offerings and peace offerings, right? Because remember, it's not even our God that just deal with that. There's a lot of faiths. They always doing burnt offerings and peace. That's not something that's just we did. There's other heathens that do these things, right? But a lot of times we'll take things that we got here and we'll apply it to certain things. And that's what you see all the time. A lot of those things, you'll see a lot of churches and certain things. They have certain things that's in the Bible. They'll grab certain things. The instruments and music, no, that's of God. It's in there. But they're trying to what? Pervert you and grab you in. So they'll use these things to be deceiving. We have to be careful, beloved. But yeah, it's a big point. They bringing burnt offerings and peace offerings. They probably bringing it according to how it's supposed to be done for him. And he's doing that for that. Think about that, beloved. You tell your loved one what you want and what you like, and they get the things you like and give it to someone else. That's what they did. Yeah, baby, I like this, Party say, hey, I like flowers and chocolate and everything. Okay, good, good. And you get those flowers and chocolate and give it to what? Her enemy, somebody she hates. It's bad enough you ain't give it to her, but you will now give it to somebody that you know gonna make her upset. This is what's happening. I want you to understand what's happening, how the Most High is viewing this. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens.
Verse 7 and 8. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Go, get thee down, for thy people, which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Anybody got anything for 7 and 8? So always kind of cracks me up. Listen how God spoke to Moses. He said, go. He told him, go get thee down. Remember, Moses don't know what's happening. Moses, they're up in, they're up on top of the mountain. They don't know what's happening. We're going to see that, right? But he said, go get thee down for thy people. You be like, nah, when your kid acting up, you talk to your partner, get your kids over there acting, right? He said, go get your people, right? Mm-hmm. Go get thee down for thy people, which thou broughtest up out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. So the Most High so bad, he's like, yeah, get those people that you brought out, right? He almost showing a little distance now. So we can do that. We can provoke the Most High to anger. And that's the scary, but we provoke him to anger. He don't want to deal with it. That's the scariest thing that can happen. We lose our protection of the Most High. Go ahead, Moses, go get your people that you brought up. Because they what? Corrupted themselves. So you understand what corrupting themselves is dealing with? What? Because we did the idolatry. Okay? So nobody else corrupted us. We corrupted ourselves. Nobody pushed it down our throat or anything like that. We did it willingly. They have turned aside quickly. This wasn't even long. They turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. That's how it is, beloved. It can be that quick. It don't take a long time to turn away from the Most High. They have made them a molten calf and have worshipped it. Once again, he tell you what they're doing. They created this thing and they're worshiping it. Right? They are giving it credence. Okay? And have sacrificed thereunto. See, those peace offerings and those what? Those are the burnt offerings. He's saying they created this thing. Now they're worshiping it because that's what feasts are for. It's that congregation, that holy convocation where we worship God. People say, oh, you just come together. No, it's a worshiping God. If you can even understand that principle, it shouldn't even be a thing to argue about. When don't the Most High love worship? Okay? Even on, and people say Sunday, I want y'all to get it. There's feast days that even land on Sunday. You got feast days that land on any day. We're not opposed to you can't worship God on Sunday. We're talking about how you're trying to make it. Okay, where's the issues happening? They said, y'all, they made the idol, they worship in the idol, and they sacrifice into the idol. And listen, said, listen, the Most High's up there catching all this stuff, and said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Boy, I'm telling you, this can get us upset. I know I ain't do all that work, bringing down all them plagues, walking them through dry land. I did all these things, fed their behinds because they was crying about food and drink. Remember, he did all this, beloved. They seen all this. And he's like, these jackbutts are going to go and say, these gods that they pulled out the earrings that I gave them, they're going to give credit to that. You don't deserve this, God. We truly don't. As we read, you're going to be like, we don't deserve it. All right? But this is what he's talking about, slow to anger, slow to wrath, those things, because what? He has that. He should have killed us about 4 or 5 times already. Okay? But this is the God we deal with. But we don't want to tread on his mercy. But this is what what's happening. All right. So he's seeing this. He's dealing with Moses. They don't know that, but he's dealing with Moses and he's telling Moses what's happening. Okay. Let's keep going.
Come. Verse 8, they have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. And Yahweh said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation.
All right. So he gets more and more scary. All right. The guy was speaking to Moses and saying, listen, I've seen this people, and behold, they stiff-necked. Even though he loves us, he knows our temperament. He's that, man, these some stiff-necked people, boy. Hard, like we'll say that, some hard-headed people. Okay? As much as that's bad, beloved, if we can get the spirit and cultivate that in the right way, be great. We're supposed to be stubborn, right? And hard-headed when it comes to going away from the path of God, right? We just always doing it against God, but we was that way with God. We'll be all right. But he's saying this is how they are. They tell Moses what? Leave me alone. My wrath is hot. I am hot. I want to consume them. I want to kill them. And he ain't talking about no, he's just saying that no, he's saying, I will kill him, and what? I will make of thee a great nation. I'll start all over. You know, you get so mad at something, I'll destroy it and start all over. I don't care. I'll start over from the beginning. Because somebody's so mad to do that. This is what we did to the Most High. He was hot. So hot with Moses, he didn't want the wrath to go off on Moses. He said, leave me alone, Moses. You got to get out of my presence. And this is why I say, this is why he don't want you, we say like separating all that stuff. It's not just, oh, you're going to hate them, you got to distance yourself from them. But what? When his wrath comes, you don't want to be connected to the person he's about to hit the wrath with. Okay? Remember when that angel was coming down during David's time? That angel was dropping people by the thousands. Okay? So this is why it's a scary thing when the Most High get mad. And that judgment happens. We don't know. We can only pray to him that he stops it.
Mm-hmm.
He can kill thousands like it ain't nothing. Don't bat an eye to him. Okay? All right, let's keep going.
Verse 11 and 12. And Moses besought Yahweh his power and said, Yahweh, why doth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with a great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, for mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn thy fierce wrath and repent of this evil against thy people.
Might seem weird, right? But Moses, what the Most High is showing us, once again, if you can catch it, the Most High already knows everything, beloved. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of these things he's just playing out so we can understand. What Moses is doing right there, the Most High put his spirit on Moses to be moved to say what he's saying so we can understand, all right, what a true mediator is about and what they do. Because remember we said, these things is a replicate. He's replicating really what his son, Yahushua, right? So when we seeing this, he's showing us something. He's pleading on the what? The people's behalf, which what? Christ did. Okay? So when we see him, don't think he argued with this shit. He's not. He's pleading with them. All right? Saying, listen, I'm sorry. Wherefore should the Egyptians speak? Think about what the Egyptians want to say. For mischief, did he bring them out and slay in the mountains to consume them from the face of the earth? So this is what they're going to say. They're going to remember the Egyptians just witnessed, man, that's God's people. Their God fights for them. They got that in their mind. They all understand that. And now if he delivered all these hundreds of thousands of people and then he just wiped them all out in the wilderness, they'd be like, That God, I don't know about that guy. That God's kind of mysterious. Like he'll save his people just so he can destroy him himself. Like that's kind of weird. That's what he's saying. Okay. So he said, like, listen, turn from thy fierce wrath and repent of this evil against thy people. All right. Repenting, you can take it back. All right. Can you please? He's not telling God you gotta repent. He's not a man that he should repent, right? He's asking the Most High, be merciful. Can you take that back? Don't destroy them. All right. He's pleading with the Most High. I know that's you want to do it. Please don't destroy them. Okay. Okay. Because you didn't read 13 yet, all right? Yeah.
No, I just wanted to say something with verse 11. And it shows you how meek and humble Moses was, because the Most High was like, your people that you brought from the land of Egypt. You know how we say that's your man's and them? But see, Moses, gave the credence to the Most High. He said, against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand. He said, no, you delivered them out of Egypt, not me. He was just a vessel at the end of the day. So I just peeped that out, and now I see why Moses was the meekest man at that time, because he never took no credit for doing anything. He gave the Most High, all the praise, honor, and glory, and said that it was you, not me.
It's a good point. Good point. And to see that he reminded, of course, the Most High knows all this, right? But he's reiterating the point, right? Really showing his love towards us. If we can see it, he's still showing the love towards us. Well, good point. That's a good point. It's definitely a good point. You can read him.
Verse 12 and 13. Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, for mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath and repent of this evil against thy people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thine own self, and saidest unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven. And all this land that I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. And Yahweh repented of the evil which he thought to do unto his people.
Anybody got anything for those 2 verses? 3 verses.
Verse 13, he was just basically bringing it back to the Most High's remembrance, because he promised that he would give the children of Israel the land of Canaan, for inheritance. He promised it through Abraham, And so we just, you said you was going to do this, so, you promised that this was going to come to pass, And it just shows how such a great intercessor that he was, to the people, and how much love that he had for his people. Even though we were jackbutts.
Absolutely. And this is something we could take with us. You can hold, not disrespectfully, right? But you don't see it disrespectful when you hold him to his word. All right. Almost doing remind him of what? His word, his promises. The Most High didn't forget about it. He's using this illustration. That's what I want y'all to understand. He is using this illustration so we can get and understand certain things. Why did you have Moses go do this and go back for him with this? Because you can remind him, Lord, you said if I do this, this will happen. You can hold him to his word. He's not like us where we get upset. I don't care. I said it, but I changed. No. He is somebody who holds to his word. This is why you go to the New Testament. It says what? There's 2 immutable things. God cannot what? Lie. You can hold him to it. He said, you do my commandments and you believe my son, you can put all the chips in on that. It will not fail. So he's bringing them back. And this is what the Most High will do. So we can understand. There's times, believe me, he want to wipe us out probably even today. But what? He had that covenant that he remembered. He remembers that covenant. And that's what withhold itself. Because it says what? Who can? I forgot the scripture, so I'm paraphrasing. Basically, who can hold anything to God? Who can, if he's guilty, who can judge him and say he's guilty? Said nobody can do. Nobody can check him. But he binds himself to his own word. That's what gives that weight. That's why we can hold him to his own word. Okay, so this is what, like I said, he's just giving us illustration with him and Moses, but it's so we can learn about it. All right. And Moses, remember your servants when you swear by thy own self. Why? Because there was nobody greater to swear to. When you swear, which you shouldn't do, right? You swear to something higher, right? But God has to what? He had to make that promise with himself and swear kind of to himself, because what? There's nothing greater that he can swear to. Nothing what? Higher that can what? Hold him accountable to that. Okay. We say things, we lie. There's something higher that can hold us accountable to that. But with him, there's nothing that can hold the Most High accountable. So he did it to what? To himself. And him being righteous and true, it holds that weight. Okay. Because now if he breaks his word, then he can what? You can lose the title of being righteous and true to your word, right? And if he's the spirit of truth and righteousness and perfection, he can't. So this is why he held to his own word. That's what this is dealing with. To whom thou swearest by thy own self. Okay. And says unto them, I will multiply thy seed. So he's saying, I'm telling you, like Brother Kai brought out, you already told Abraham this is going to happen. All right. And Yahweh repented of the evil which he thought to do unto his people. Was it because of what Moses said? No. It's because what? He swore it by thine own self. He held his own self captive to what? His own words. So he repented it, took it back because of those things. Okay. Now, of course, he created the mediator. I get all that point, all those points and everything. All right. So, of course, he already had this whole thing designed, but that's something we have to realize. Okay. When we go doing something crazy, we better hope he has certain things in place that he won't go against it. Okay. So this is why he won't do it. However, with this, he could have wiped out all of them still, though. I want y'all to get why. Because he still didn't forget about the promise, even with his answer. The first time I forgot to put that. Did it right here. He was mad, but what did he remember? And that I may consume them. He was hot. I'm ready to destroy all of them. And I will make of thee a great nation. See, he wasn't going to break his word. He said, all I need is what? I need is one male seed. Moses, all I need is you, and I can make a nation right from you. Moses could say, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'll do it like that. I'll probably be less headache for me. Moses was like, they trying to kill me and everything every turn, so that'll be easy for me. But no, Moses said, yeah, I know they stiff nigga. I know they probably deserve death, but, Lord, be merciful to them. And that goes to Kai's point. That's why he's so merciful. Because listen, people trying to, kill me and do all this stuff every other day, you be like, oh, Lord, you got to do what you got to do. Lord, you know what I mean? We can start over, right? But even though they hate him, they despise him, he still loved them. Fast forward to Yahushua, did the same thing. Forgive them, Father, because they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand the weight of what they do. Forgive them. Right? So you can see that parallel happening. All right. We can keep going.
And Moses turned and went down from the mount, and the two tables of the testimony were in his hand. The tables were written on both their sides, and the one side and on the other side were they written, and the tables were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God graven upon the tables.
We keep reading. Yes.
And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said unto Moses, there is a noise of war in the camp. And he said, it is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is it the voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the voice of them that sing do I hear. All
right. You know how we get down, beloved. You know how we get down, right? We love music and we love it loud. All right, no matter what capacity, we love it loud. Look at the concerts, even when we have our cars, right? We blasting that music, right? That's part of us. Okay. So Josh, remember, like I said, they are in that mountain. They don't see what's going on. Because they seen that stuff going, they would already reacted. Okay, they're not seeing this, right? Moses there communing with God, and then bang, he's telling what's happening. He's Lord, he ain't seeing it. He just talking. He's like, listen, I'm about to go and kill them and destroy them. Because look, they doing this stuff. They over there serving these, built this calf and all that stuff. And Moses like, oh, have mercy, have mercy. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's different from when you're hearing it and when you actually see it, what you're going to see, right? And he's coming down because Joshua's not up there with Moses. Remember, Joshua is a little further down. So he coming down. Joshua's like, listen, I just hear something in the camp. All right? It don't sound like, it's something like they fighting like it's a war, because war is loud when you got shields and swords and everything. He like, it don't sound like, probably they fighting or anything, but it also don't sound like it's screaming like, something bad happened, right? He's like, but I hear something very loud. That's the loudest things. People fighting in war, right? And then, some death or something mourning, but he's saying it's not that. He said, but it's noise of them that I hear singing. I hear rejoicing. He's all the way up in the mountains. He hear this rejoicing, beloved. So we was getting it done to these false idols. Is getting this praise from God's people. All right, let's keep going.
And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing. And Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tables out of his hand and brake them beneath the mount. And he took the calf which they had made and burned it in the fire, and ground it to powder and strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Israel drink of it.
It's not funny, but what just makes me laugh a little bit is, people try to calm somebody down, like, whoa, chill out. And then they see it, and now he's getting worse than how God was getting mad. So it just cracks me up. Moses like trying to calm God down, like, oh no, have mercy and everything. Then he seen it and lost his mind. So it's just a little funny sometimes how the Bible illustrates stuff. But he went and he saw that calf and he lost it. All right, he got it. All right, and I can only imagine, you know what I mean? Remember, they just hearing it from God, but they not seeing it. They see this calf and see them acting a darn fool and worshiping this calf. He just went in, and this is what he's saying. Even the most meekest individual, he get pushed to that edge.
Yeah.
This is a good, you know what I mean? Because this was righteous indignation he was going through, you know what I mean? He was righteous judge. This ain't something he was taking personally. I can't believe y'all doing this to our God. You know what I mean? He's getting upset with that. Really? Idolatry, idols, all that you see the Most High, this is what you're going to come and do. So he's mad. And so old precious Moses, like they try to make everybody all soft in the word of God. What did he do? He broke the stones. All right. And then he what? He took the calf which they made and burnt it in the fire and ground it to powder and strawed it upon the water and made the children of Israel drink of it. All right. Y'all talking about, I want to have a leader like Moses. Do you? Maybe if you're doing right. Moses made them drink that idol. Y'all want to consume this stuff. Y'all want to deal with this. He made them drink that idol. All right.
That breaking of the stones was like a symbolization of the breaking of the covenant.
Yes. Perfect. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's null and void now. this kind of contract that broke the door in contract. And we know eventually got to go up. But the same thing, beloved. What do we do? Mm-hmm. Break it. And we got what? If you understand it, we got a new contract. It was the same stuff. You just got to get a new one, right? Because when you sin, that's why you break it. All right, get a new one. Same word. It ain't like stuff changed on it, but same thing, right? So this is something, when we go buck wild and break it, this you got to kind of visualize that. Look at Moses like, oh, look at these knuckleheads. All right. So he was upset. All right, let's keep going.
Verse 21. And Moses said unto Aaron, what did this people unto thee, that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them? And Aaron said, let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Thou knowest the people that they are set on mischief.
All right. So where do Moses go to? He goes to Aaron. He's going to the one that's the leader. Same thing with the mediator. That's why I go 1 Corinthians 11. His father, his son, man and woman. And this is what we got to understand. Sometimes I tell women, like, listen, don't try to jump up in that thing because what? When things go wrong, the side come to you. What you doing here, right? But even with the men, this is why you have to make sure that he built this a certain way, right? To have that stubbornness with him, right? Don't ain't supposed to be getting swayed like that with people. Because the people will sway you, do something, and then sometimes they'll be like, oh, well, you the leader, so you shouldn't have did it. It ain't my fault, right? When judgments start happening, everybody want to fall back and nobody want to take ownership of it, right? So when we look at this, he come into the right person. Aaron, you was in charge. All right. Ain't gonna blame, don't care about blame, don't blame. He going right to the person that he should go to, the head. Okay. What did this people unto thee that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them? What are you doing? Why did you bring this on the people? Yes, the leader has that kind of weight because you allowed it. This is what he's saying. You brought it, and I don't even know he made it and everything, but it didn't matter. You are there. If this thing was going on, you should have been tied up or killed. But you're not tied up, you're not killed. You right there in the worship. You brought this sin upon them because you were supposed to be the one that what? Protects the nation. They supposed to bind, that's what Christ talking about, supposed to bind the strong man to get the house.
Each.
But you ain't do nothing. You just sitting there and just let them come right up in there. Oh. Okay. So this is something we need to learn. And what Aaron saying? Aaron said, let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Right? You probably see Moses in this kind of form. Whoa, Moses, don't get so angry. Thou knowest the people that they are set on mischief. Sound a little bit like a king of Israel that we know. All right, he ain't get introduced yet. Sound like Saul putting it what? On the people.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you got to know between what? Leadership of God. Don't blame the other one. Okay? Even if the leader wrong, you need to do things in good sincerity. Okay? But you're going to do something, well, it's the people's fault. Nah. Let the people do things and let them damn themselves. Because a lot of times, they're not willing to step out on that. They want to convince you to do it. Because they what? They can blame you. Don't let people go over there and get you out there. All right? Because even though they did wrong, they still got a point because you shouldn't did it. As a leader, as a overseer, whatever, you supposed to be like, nope, but stop here. And if they go out and do it on themselves, that's when the Most High gonna go and get them individually. They step out that head of protection. So something to learn here, beloved. Something to learn here. Let me see. Another thing where I knows the people that they are set on mischief, and the thing is, it sounds like he's throwing off on them, but also he's only making himself look worse. If you think about it, beloved, he's like Moses. They set on mischief. Yes, they set on mischief too. Why would you yield to them? You see, this is the excuses we use. Lord, I was going to, but they're evil. Why was you with them then if you know they're evil? We think we sound smart, but it's actually just condemning ourselves. Why would you do that? But we love it, beloved. We love it. All right, Brother Kyle, we can keep going.
For they said unto me, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. And I said unto them, whosoever have any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it to me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf.
So So I mean, he's relaying. At least he relayed it right.
Yeah.
He was honest when he said, "Listen, they said make it God," because he wasn't. This wasn't his thing. It ain't like, oh, well, let's make it. He did it. But this is something with leadership. Some leaders are good. And this. I'm speaking. Some leaders are sometimes good at heart. I'm saying this. I kind of have to mindful of it, right? Some of them wouldn't go into certain things. Sometimes they just can't handle the pressure of the people. There's some people that, now I want to do that, but the leader sometimes feels so compelled by the people. Now, this is no excuse, because if you call it, you have to get that backbone. Most High called you, he gave you he equipped you with that. But some of these leaders just don't have a backbone. Some of them, they know it's wrong, but I just got to go with it. People, the pressure to people. I want to be, sometimes people, some of the leaders want to be loved by the people so much that they would, submit to them in wickedness just so they can be loved by them. And this is why you have to understand, this ain't going to be always a loving thing. This is why Christ said, I come with a sword on the earth. Ain't going to be no kumbaya with everybody. People that don't want to serve God, they not going to be all lovey-dovey and loving you. No. All right? It's going to be some tension. Okay? So even some of the, and like I said, leaders, if you don't want to be loved, this is not the job to be loved by. And why I'm saying it that way is everybody not going to love you. If you're doing the truth way, there's going to be people that are going to despise you for no reason. That's part of the gig. Okay? But once again, right now, Aaron is telling the truth, right? They told me to make it, and I did make it. He said, listen, I told him, all right, I want to take things off here. And he might not have been built like that because we were a trip. Remember, they were trying to kill Moses because they was hungry. So it was some pressure going on, I'm sure. You know what I mean? But this ain't no excuse. You got to still stay with what the Most High told you to do. Okay? All right, let's keep going.
Verse 25. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies, then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, Who is on Yahweh's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him.
So this is the good one. So the naked, I'm glad they put it in the parentheses for us. This was not talking about they were all butt naked, right? But naked, when you look in the scriptures, that's another thing for shame. Okay. Think about when you get like a kid get embarrassed, what they do. Sometimes they try to cover up, and it's that same thing, right? So make them exposed, right? They naked, everything is out bare. That's the naked. So we with the guard thing. So you'll see naked as being naked as in no clothes, right? But also naked being, you open them up to that shame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just so we know that. And then now Moses going saying, Who's on Yahweh's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gather themselves together unto him. All right. So we know the history of Simeon and Levi, right? But we see Levi stepped up on this one. All right. So they with him. So even though, this is the thing, it could be some stuff going off, but that don't mean everybody's with it as well. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Just waiting. Maybe if Aaron said, listen, we ain't doing this, and they was ready to, kill Aaron could be like, oh, who's on the Lord's side? Right? And they step up. Now, something you can think about this. I guess I ain't gonna throw this a question, but remember that is their family too, Levi. So their family stood up with him, you know what I mean? So it's good he had a lot of, and I ain't saying everybody Levi, but the sons, they backed it up. And you'll see that even within Israel, some of the tribes will back up certain ones. Like when David was getting king, he had his tribe backing him up. Even with Rehoboam and everything was going to separate, his tribe backed them up. So you will see sometimes the tribes will back up, one their own specifically. All right. So all the Levites, the sons of Levites, they came together, all right, when Moses said this, and let's see what happens.
Verse 27. And he said unto them, Thus saith Yahweh, power of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses. And there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men.
Yeah, we about to go in here and start purging. I'm talking about a purge. Here you go, right here. They went in there and go door by door and killing all of them. All right, that was dealing with this. Okay, so this is what happens. All right, Moses being that mediator, like I said, you know they went too far. Okay, so 3,000 men died that day. All right, this is right within the nation. he killed on. Okay, verse 29.
For Moses had said, consecrate yourselves today to Yahweh, even every man upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, ye have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto Yahweh. Peradventure, I shall make an atonement for your sin.
All right, they doing that killing. Consecrate yourselves to Yahweh. Repent. In other words, repent. All right, get back on the path you're supposed to get to. Even every man upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. Let's get ourselves right. Consecrate. Clean yourselves up. All right, because this was no small matter. This was a great sin. Then this was something huge. And he said, I'm going to have to go up to Yahweh to what? Hopefully he'll allow an atonement for this. All right, you see it? But what he's doing, he's moving the mediator to do it, right? The mediator said it, and now the mediator coming on behalf because now they witnessing it, right? So he's going and saying, listen, hopefully we can get atoned for this because this was something huge y'all did. Okay? And keep going unless somebody has something.
Verse 31. And Moses returned unto Yahweh and said, oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and they have made them gods of gold. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book which thou hast written.
That's the meekest man. That's the golden line that he's the meekest man on the earth. Because I will probably never form my words and ever say something like that.
Never.
All right? I'm not even going to act like it. I try to imagine, Lord, I'm going to be at that kind of. Nah, I know the way to that. Nah. All right. But this showing you how much he loved the people. Okay. And the same thing with Christ. He's showing how much he loved the people. Having that mindset. Okay. So like, listen, man, they sinned a great sin. See, he ain't sugarcoating it. They sinned a great sin by doing that idolatry, making gods of gold. But forgive them. All right. Forgive them. If you can't, blot me, I pray thee out of the book which thou hast written. Take me out of that book. Okay. All right. Now, I haven't dived into it fully, but this could be taken maybe another way, as in, I don't know if he's saying kill me too, or take me out of the book of life. I don't know if there's knowledge. He should know that he probably wasn't going to get out the book of life, but yeah. Yeah, because that forgiving is tough. No, he said forgive, so we keep it like that. Yeah, he said thou will forgive their sin. So yeah, but if you can't forgive their sin, block me out of the book. Yeah, that's a tough line, beloved. That's a tough line. All right, but we don't want to push. We never want to push anybody to even think they have to say something like that. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Verse 34 and 35. Therefore now go, lead the people unto the place which I have spoken unto thee. Behold, my angel shall go before thee. Nevertheless, in the day when I will visit their sin upon them. And Yahweh plagued the people because they made the calf, which Aaron made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once again, we see something like this. Even if they please, even if Christ, all that kind of stuff, even the intercessor please. Yahweh said to Moses, whosoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. Nah, that's why I try to help it out a little bit, but nah. He's saying, listen, those that sin, I'm gonna blot them out. Okay, I'm gonna take them out of my book. All right, you want to be in the book, beloved. All right. If you don't know, you can go to Revelation and probably correlate it as well. But you want to be in the book. You want your name written in the book of life. Okay. But those that see that you sin against me, you just don't get me. No, I'm gonna block them out. Therefore, now go, lead the people into the place which I have spoken unto thee. All right. My angel gonna guide you. He's saying, go ahead, Moses, go down there and lead them. All right. Nevertheless, in the day when I visit, I will visit their sin upon them. He said, I'm gonna visit them on the way. I ain't taking that back. All right. And Yahweh plagued the people because they made the calf which Aaron made. All right. So a little bit of patience would have helped them. Okay. Once again, we're seeing a little bit of patience. All right. So let's be patient with the Most High. Let's believe in His promises, the things that He set for us. Anybody else got anything they want to add to that? For those online.